Hi, my name is Arthur. I'm Kelabit from Borneo Highland of Sarawak, Malaysia, Borneo. I've been tattooing since 1999. Yeah, that's pretty long. Yeah, I've been self-taught, mostly self-taught. I was inspired. I have to say, I was inspired. Growing up, you know, having a grandmother with who has a tattoo, traditional tattoos on the arm and legs. I was curious by that mostly. Growing up, as in like why she has them, and why does my mom don't have them, and why I don't have them, yeah. That's always curious. I'm always curious growing up, yeah.
So when you were growing up, you saw your grandmother's body is covered in tattoos?
Yes, she did. Yeah, she did. She was like fully covered, from arm to legs. That was really something. Yeah. I was very, very curious growing up. It's such a mystery. Seeing older people, with tattoos like that. Yeah.
So you saw your grandmother's tattoos as a child. How many generations in your tribe do you think wore these tattoos, these ancestral markings?
I remember my grandmother saying that all the women, her mother and the women before her, they all have them. The one and the tattoo makers are women as well, so it's a woman's job. Yeah.
So are there specific designs for certain tribe members?
Specific design, yes. In my tribes, for the women especially, designs are kind of like, the designs are passed down. So every family member have their own design, Yeah, have their own specific design. So why they do this is because they believe in the afterlife, life after death. So when they pass on, and they bring their tattoos in the afterlife, this will make it easier for their ancestors to find them, to claim them, Yeah. Well, women get their tattoos the exact same design as the mothers, as the grandmothers. The reason for this is because when they pass on and they go to the afterlife, their family member would recognize them, and would claim them.
So it's so that in like the spiritual afterlife you become reunited with your family. This is why they get tattooed.
Exactly, that's the whole reason for this. Yes, yeah. And the reason for this is because their status in the community. Yes.
So people with a different status have a different tattoo as well?
Different ranks and different status. Yes, they have different design. Yeah. As in the nobles, and then there are the commoners and the slaves. Each have different designs, and then the commoners cannot have designs of the nobles. Yeah, it's just how they, to show the difference of status in the community. Yeah.
Okay.
Through the tattoos, by the tattoos, yeah.
So there's like a caste system within the tribe, and this is, like visible with the tattooing as well?
Yeah, it's because, it's back in the days, people don't have any clothes, barely have any clothes on. Yeah, so this is their way of showing, the difference in class. It's by the tattoos. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what kind of example of motifs would they have? So if I was like a peasant, what design would I have? And if I was like a royal member in the family, what difference is there?
The designs are much simpler, I would say.
Okay.
And like the Kayan, where the Kayan, they have like specific, designs and motif to represent the different, like in the status, yeah. Whereas the Kelabits have more like, it's like very simple. It's like it's in zigzag motif,
They just copy what the designs of their parents, the design of their mothers, the same design, the exact same design. Yeah. So like I said, why they do this is so they can get reunited with their ancestors, with their family in the afterlife. Yes, yeah. So I think that the designs, are more intricate, yeah, than the commoners. Yeah, the commoners, like the nobles, they are supposed to pay. They are supposed to pay, like to pay for good designs, for more intricate, tattoos. Whereas the commoners will get something more, anything more simpler, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I understand that the Kelabit people are like the minority group, the smaller group in Borneo. What makes them unique or different from other tribes?
What makes them different is that the Kelabit people, they settle themselves on the highlands instead of at the riverbanks. I think why they did this is because I think because they they just don't want to be close to the other tribes. Because back then, there's a lot of like tribal war and a lot of tribal conflicts going on during those time. And then I believe they separate themselves, from the other tribes just to avoid conflicts. Yeah.
So it was like for safety they inhabited the highlands?
Yeah, I think that's the whole reason, is just to avoid conflicts. Yeah, yeah, just to live peacefully. Yeah, away from everything else.
And were the Kelabit people a headhunting tribe? Is this something they practiced when they engaged in war?
Yes, yeah, they were headhunters back in the days. Before, I think before they embraced Christianity, back then they were headhunters. Yes.
Interesting. Did they have tattoos that represent achievements with headhunting? Like if you were a warrior, would you have a special
Well, the
tattoo?
Kelabit men do not have tattoos. Yeah, do not have tattoos. Do not. Unlike the Kayan or Ibans, the Kelabit men do not wear tattoos for some strange reason. Yeah. Only the women have tattoos. Yeah. Yes, I remember my grandmother told me that when they get tattoos, so they can get married. Yeah, to prepare themselves for marriage. Yeah.
Okay. So it was like when they become a woman, they would get tattooed, not like small girls.
Yeah, yeah. When they have tattoos, like complete set of tattoos, they are seen as eligible women. Yeah.
So when did your tribe have their first contact with British people?
Yeah, I think it was during the Japanese occupation. That's probably around 1940s, around that time. Yeah. How did this happen? Well, it's because I think the British Army came parachuting straight into our village, yeah, into the highlands. And why they did this is because it's to avoid the Japanese. At that time, yeah, they were avoiding Japanese by parachuting into the village. And then my grandfather, he was the chief of the village at that time, welcomed this British armies, yeah, into his village, yeah, and hid them from the Japanese. That's the first time they made contact with the outside world, yeah, with the British especially. So the British came parachuting in, and my grandfather welcomed them. At that time, my grandfather was the chief of the village. They welcomed the British army. And then the Japanese, well, eventually came, actually at that time, came to the village, and they were looking they were looking for these British armies, and my grandfather said they weren't there. You know, like this. They were elsewhere.
So what did the British Army do to show appreciation to your grandfather, the chief, for saving their lives?
They gave him gifts. Yeah, they gave him boots. They gave him toothbrush and many other things. They also gave him medal of honor. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, I remember him wearing. There's a picture of him wearing, like wearing a uniform. So yeah. So I guess that was given by the British Army. Yeah. So as a token of appreciation.
That's amazing. I don't think many people could tell a story like that, and I've certainly never met anyone with a Medal of Honor. So yeah, that's really incredible, and great that he was so welcoming and protected them.
Yes, yeah.
Really incredible. Yeah, really brave person.
Yeah, it's pretty brave of him. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. But he made friends with one of the major. I think the major was at that time was a major. So he made friends with one of them, and then they became good friends.
Was he also like documented or noted for his bravery?
Yeah, he was in a book. My grandfather was in a book. This book is written by Major Tom Harrison. Yeah, and he was in this book, The World Within. That's the name of the book. Yeah, by Tom Harrison.
So did they write all about their experience being taken in by a tribe and cared for?
Yes, yeah. The story was actually told in that book. Yes, yeah. Yeah, this book is called...
Wow, I'd really like to read that. I'd like to hear what it was like from the other side of the story, like parachuting into the jungle and meeting a tribe.
Yeah, it was written.
Being saved by them. What an incredible story.
I wish I could remember everything, I read this book once, I probably want to read it again. Yeah, but it was documented. Yeah, and it was put in that book. Yeah.
You've got such an incredible family history. That's so interesting.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
So your grandfather was royal. He was a chief in the tribe.
Yes.
And what about your mother?
My mother is the daughter of the chief as well, from another village. Yeah.
So you have royalty on both sides of your family?
Yes, you can say that. Yeah, we're kind of royal, kind of.
That's amazing. So this makes you like the Prince of Barrio.
Yeah, you can say so. You can say that. You can say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I'm so honoured to be sat here with Borneo royalty. What an incredible experience.
Yeah, more like a prince.
The Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince, yeah. I guess that's why I'm named after a king.
Yeah. This is why your father chose your name Arthur?
I believe so, yeah.
So do people in Borneo still get traditional tribal tattoos?
Well, I would say Kelabits, maybe at this moment, maybe at this time, not so many people. But other tribes, yes. I would say other tribes, like the Iban, they start doing, Kelabit tattoos are no longer practiced ever since my people embrace Christianity. They stop getting tattooed. Yeah.
So Christianity's sort of forbidden the tattoo practices?
Christianity has forbidden them to get tattooed. Yeah. Sort of like it's against Christianity to have tattoos. Yeah. And they were told that all this tattooing and this what do you say, that old traditions are not longer relevant. Yeah.
That seems sad, because if it's like part of your ancestral heritage, then why lose this? Because that's who you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of it's kind of sad. Yeah, that that we are forced to to leave our tradition. Yeah, to leave our tradition behind and everything. Yeah, yeah. The importance is keeping the tradition alive. Is to pass this knowledge to the next generation so they won't forget.
Are there like myths and fables in tattooing? Is there like stories that are told with the tattoos as well? Have you heard of any?
Stories.
Yeah, like stories about tattooing, how it came to the people, or myths or fables.
Well, this tattoo, a lot of informations are, informations are limited. Yeah, yeah, these things weren't written, they were just, passed down from generation to generations, and a lot of these stories are lost, unfortunately.
That's sad.
It's sad, really, yeah.
Yeah. So to conduct your research into tribal tattooing, because you're an expert, what's it been like? What's your journey been like in learning about the designs and reviving these tattoos? What can you say about your time?
Yeah, it was quite, it was quite challenging, because, informations are limited, in these things are not written down, and a lot of like these tools and the tools for making tattoos are gone. Yeah, because people were forced to to get rid of all these things, yeah, and and yeah, informations are like really limited, so I had to actually go out, and meet the old people and talk to them, in just to get information, on designs, yeah, and the meanings of their tattoos.
So are there many elders left with tattoos? Because it's the elder generation, I believe, that were pre-Christian. Is that right?
Yeah, yes, previous generation, yeah, the generation before my parents, yeah, who were mostly tattooed, but my parents were were not tattooed. Yeah,
No.
yeah.
So do you have to find people of like our grandparents' generations to learn about tattooing from?
Yes, yeah. I have to travel out. I have to go to villages. I have to set a meeting with people. With the elders, with people's grandmother. Yeah, just to get information. Every little information I can get. Yeah, yeah.
So you do your research by travelling to remote villages and meeting
Yes,
elders?
yes, yes. I did. Yeah, I had to travel out. I have to set a meeting. I have to go places. From one village to another, just to get all this information. Yeah, to get all this knowledge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not easy, is it?
It was not. It was hard. It was tough. It was very challenging indeed. Yeah,
Yeah.
because a lot of people, they were reluctant to share. They were a bit shy, a bit, yes, because ever since, I think it's because mainly because of religion, they are a bit reluctant to share, yeah, to give information on their tattoos. Yeah.
So they now that they're Christian, the elders, do they feel shy about their tattoos? It's a bit taboo?
Yeah, they were a bit shy to, yeah, like I said, a bit reluctant. Yeah, slightly reluctant to share, to share the knowledge, to explain the meaning. When I was growing up, when I asked my grandmother, what her tattoo mean, she was said just for fun. She had it just for fun. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I keep insisting, I keep insisting, like, saying, why? And later on, she would say, oh yeah, just she got them, so she can get married. Yeah. So she becomes, she get it to become uh, a complete woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's really interesting. So you've worked really hard to be able to do these traditional tattoos from your tribe. And are there many people that do tattooing like you do?
You mean for my tribe? Yes.
Yeah, like your tribe, like Orang Ulu
Yeah.
or Kelabit, Kenya.
Yeah.
You know,
At,
are
at,
you?
thi- at this moment, well, at this moment, I'm probably the only one doing this. Yeah. I'm the only one who's like, really studying, like really study the design, study the motifs, the meanings of, behind, every patterns. Yeah, nobody's like really doing authentic orang ulu tattoos. Yeah, nobody's really doing that. A lot of people try, but it's more like it's more like inspired. Because like tattoos like these are they have meanings, and they have like and these tattoos have gender, like yeah, it belongs to some tattoos are only specifically for women, yeah, and 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 yeah, and I think it's really important, to put, to how do you say this, uh, to put the right design on somebody, not just simply, yeah, not just simply inspired and then like, yeah.
So you like to make your tattoo designs authentic and accurate?
Yes, I believe that's yeah, yes, I believe it's really important to do that, because otherwise the meanings are lost. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it becomes like, like a version of, not anything like the original otherwise.
Yeah, inspired version, like like I said earlier, these tattoos have some very special meanings, and then like different design for different class of people in the community. So it's actually very important for someone to know, what to apply, on someone, like not just simply put simply.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
some people just see the patterns and go, oh, that's nice, and copy them, or, start doing these tattoos when it's not from their culture, they haven't done the research.
Yes, yeah. I've seen some men wear like women design. It's wrong. It's wrong. Although it looks nice, but but if you actually, for those who actually know the meaning, who understand this thing, will see this thing as wrong. Yeah.
So, what's the importance for the next generation to be able to understand your culture, your tattoo traditions, and who the Kelabit people are?
Yeah, I think it's really important, for the next generation to understand that that we have a like a rich tattoo culture, yeah, and like a rich tradition, like, and this thing should not be forgotten. And I believe that that this thing should be kept and should be practiced. Yeah, yeah, and also and also the tradition, just to keep that tradition alive, yeah, because well, it's already dead. Yeah, it's that. Yeah, that's the whole reason of me doing this, is to revive that. Yeah, to revive that tradition. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's been going for so many generations already. It would be sad to lose this, wouldn't it? It's like a huge part of your heritage.
Yeah, it's part of our heritage. Yeah, yeah. That practice kind of stopped during my grandmother's time. Yeah. So it's been, yeah, for maybe 50 years, 60 years. That tradition. I think it's really important. For to keep that tradition alive. Yeah, for the next generation and for the generation to come. Yeah. Yeah, I also feel like, well, it should not perish. It cannot perish. So we are so rich in, in like, how you say, like, tattooing culture. We're rich in tattooing culture. It's not just for our own people, but for the whole world to know. Yeah. It's a dying, it's a dying tradition. It's a dying practice. Orang Ulu tattooing, Kelabit tattoos, or Orang Ulu tattooing in general. Not just my tribe, but the other tribes. So I think it's really important, to keep this. We have a rich tradition, tattooing tradition, rich tattooing culture, and I believe that it's a beautiful thing, like this tattooing. These tattoos are beautiful, and I believe that people should be, the next generations should be, should appreciate this. So that's why it's really, important to keep this practice going. Yeah. And it's really important to to share this knowledge, to the young generations, or to everyone.
That's great. Yeah, I think it's really important to preserve that, isn't it? Otherwise, it's risk of losing it forever. That'd be really sad.
Yeah, it's really sad. Yeah. Just like, it's important to preserve, any tradition, regardless of which tribe or what race. And like, this Kelabit tattoos, well, just because of Christianity, just because of religion doesn't mean that this thing should just perish. Yeah, because this is part of who we are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. And like, modern religion is a very recent thing in comparison with like the millennia of generations.
Yeah, this thing it's been practiced from generations, been handed down from generations to generations. And I don't see why this thing should just stop because of religion.